open it up and set the stage, I want to introduce, or I want my guest to come onto the show to introduce himself, and we are going to dive right into it, guys. We are going to dive right into it. I'm gonna tell you like this. I've been excited about this one because this brother came to me in earlier this year. Maybe it was late last year, but I think it was earlier this year. And he said, Antoine, you know what? I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust the process. And is there a place for me in tech? So give me your background. Share this background with he's going to share with you guys. And I thought highly of him. I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy transition for you. Going to be easy transition for you. Now I know me saying things that are easy is, for some people, it's hard. And don't get me wrong, it was hard, right? It took work. Now, what's hard are things that help you grow. What's hard are things that you have to force to learn. You have to put yourself in positions to, if you really want to make a transition into things like tech sales or other fields, you have to put your head down and learn. And that's what this gentleman did. He put his head down, he learned, he said, Antoine, I'm going to be the best student at this. And I knew it. He had the mentality from day one. He came on and he was like, you know what? I was like, give me your background. He was like, you know what? I was a quarterback. I was like, oh shit, this is going to be easy for you. And that's what I mean by easy, right? It's like easy. The mentality. If you have a mentality to do the work and you know that you're going to get if you do the work, you're going to get the outcome. So without further ado, I want to bring on good brother, good friend, brother Akirae Brown. Good morning, sir. How are you, man?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Akirae, I talked you up just now. I've been waiting for this show. You and I have been chatting in the back for quite some time. Tell everybody a little bit about Akirae. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, my man.
Yeah, so I'm Akirae. Like Antoine said, I started off in car sales, and I was in car sales before I made my transition. Come from a very humble background, a great loving family, very supportive. My mom and dad made sure myself and my siblings understood, hard work and, being humble and treating others like you want to be treated. So those characteristics definitely helped me throughout my whole life and getting to where I wanted to be, definitely.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, man. That's a good introduction, a humble man, and that's how Akirae is, right? He came in, he was really humble. And one of the things that when we went through our discussion, I was like, Akirae, you're humble, but when you're in sales, you're going to have to sell yourself. You're going to have to sell yourself. So give us some more. Akirae, tell us a little bit more about your background, how you grew up, sports you played, what you went to school, where you went to school, where you're from, and then and let's talk about your professional journey. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. All right. So started off in Texas. Spent most of my childhood in Houston, Texas. My parents made sure I was involved in sports. Also made sure I was in academia as well. I participated in all type of science fairs. Actually played chess. Started to play chess at a young age, so that started to develop my solid decision making. And I encourage anybody, if you wanted to rush up on decision making, go ahead and start playing chess. It's very beneficial. So won a lot of tournaments when I was younger, thanks to my parents. After that, we moved to Georgia, spent middle school and high school in Georgia. That's when I started playing football around sixth grade. Started off playing running back, but my dad told me, hey, go ahead and try to play quarterback. You could develop a lot of great characteristics and skills that can help you throughout your life, and particularly leadership skills. So I believed in them, went that route, and it has, definitely paid off for me quite a bit. That took me through high school, graduated, played college football, went to three different schools, just trying to find the best program that would match, what I brought to the table. Graduated, wasn't too sure where I wanted to go professionally, but I always had that sales aspect in me. I'm naturally an introvert, but I bring that extrovert out when I need to. I had to sell myself to the college coaches. So I was like, let me go ahead and continue to do this. So after I graduated, I started a personal training business. Did that for a little while. Generated a nice amount of sales in Houston. Then continued my career. Did substitute teaching. Learned a lot of great things from that. How to work as a team. How to control a crowd, even though the crowd might have been younger people. but learn how to control the crowd. Then after that, I did a lot of waiter work as well. A lot of different restaurants. Learned a lot of great things. Learned how to deal with all different types of people. Learn how to stay even keel, regardless of what's going on, regardless of how fast paced the environment is. That's another thing I learned from football as well. And then after that, made my transition into automotive sales. Wasn't on my radar at all. Didn't know which route I wanted to take career wise, but kind of stumbled upon it and stuck with it for about 5 years. And then made it into management. And after the pandemic, realized that, hey, the car industry doesn't seem as solid as everybody thought it was. Nobody foresaw the pandemic to happen. So after that, I was like, hey, let me start looking at career choices that could take me, the long term. So thought about tech sales. My dad brought it to my attention. Then I ran across your YouTube page, reached out to you, and hey, that's it. Made my transition, and I can't thank you enough.
Man, I I love that, Akirae. I absolutely love that, man. I love that. I will tell you this, man. We're going to unpack a lot that you said because you did a lot of stuff, Akirae. Right? You did a lot of stuff throughout your career. From personal training, right, to waiter work, right, to car sales, and other things as well too. And you learned a lot along that journey. But before we go to your professional journey, all right, let's talk about football, right? Obviously, that was a huge part of your story growing up, and you getting to the quarterback level. Tell us about, obviously, some of the skills that you had to learn and develop as a quarterback.
Number one would be trust, because playing the quarterback position, you have to trust your teammates and particularly your O-line. Because once you get the ball, you drop back, you have to focus on other things and just trust that the people in front of you are going to make the right choices and decisions to make sure you stay protected, because you're very vulnerable back there, because you have all different type of things that could come at you and knock you. Basically, they're trying to knock your head off. So trust is a big thing. Also, being able to make quick decisions. The defense could throw all different type of things at you. They could send a blitz. A lot of people could be running at you at one time. You have to calm yourself down and make the right decisions, so you can continue to march down the field and score. So that's another thing. And having a great work ethic. Being a quarterback, you have to constantly work on your skill set. Constantly. It's not something that you could just take for granted. So those that are very successful quarterbacks, they have invested a lot in their craft. And another thing I would say is just being a student of the game. And that transition into my personal career. I understand that being successful, you have to invest that time into whatever you're doing in order to be successful. So those are a lot of things I learned throughout playing football and playing quarterback in particular.
Even at a young age, you've gained and developed those skills. So, ultimately it was really, you gained those skills, and now, after football, you applied those same principles into a career, because it's the exact same things that help you within your career to develop and be the best as well.